Love doing that.
Wes loves being the clippity-clapper. And marker?
I don't...
Speed and sound?
I don't know if you know, but when you do the clap as you start, the audio and the video, they need to sync up. So when our production guy goes to get the video out, who's that? You? Do you do that? You sync it up.
That's why we do that? Huh.
I thought you were just clapping for the longest time, and I just do it with you.
Podcast, yay!
It's not the case. It's not the case. Well, we're synced up now.
You know what we're more synced up on is these NFL picks, because we took the bookmakers to task this week.
Not everyone did.
Not everyone did.
It was a dark week for some. You'd think maybe a small-time podcast like this, we might go down too. I got news.
Oh, man. Vegas. We had them in the camel clutch in the middle of the ring with no outside interference in sight, tapping for their lives.
Yeah, wailing like a little baby back bitch.
Oh, man.
I mean, 9-7. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Underdogs,
Better
12,
than almost everyone else.
12-4 in week 1 against the spread. Underdogs. You would think that it would be an absolute just
Who knew? We knew.
mess around here. No. Books were on fire, so were we. Sharp side.
Easy money.
Now we got to do it again in week 2.
Famous last words. This gambling shit is easy.
Wait, so you can just bet sure things?
Just bet the right side every time and you'll never lose.
More people should try that.
Duh.
More people should try that. Anything you want to talk to before we get into the games?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just for the people at home, maybe get real for a second here. You would think a couple podcasters like us, we have a very glamorous lifestyle. Women throwing themselves at us when we leave the house.
Respectfully.
Flash bulbs going off in our face. Fans wanting pictures. You think a couple podcasters with a glamorous lifestyle like us got it pretty easy. And while you may be right, there's downsides to this gig, you know? And we have to re-record some of these games. Cut to the chase.
This is our second go at this. This is day 2 of trying to record this. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this, me talking to you right now, is what you're hearing.
Cameras
and this
on.
Isn't getting thrown into the ether. I hope you're listening. Take 2. We're going to do it right this time.
As of 3 minutes in, we're still recording. That's good. We slept on it. I have flipped a game or two.
Oh, no, Wes.
I flipped a game or two. We went through probably 4, 5, 6 games.
Let's see. I
last
got
night.
it counted.
Maybe half of them. Maybe half of them. Recorded maybe a half an hour. We're going to hit it again. We slept on
most
it.
of the games. Either way.
We slept on it. Fresh look. A couple of the lines have moved. Some adjustments to make. I'll let you know.
Shit.
I'll let you know. Don't. Daddy's got you. Don't worry. We'll start with the first game. And the first line movement, we're going towards Washington. They're now 3.5-point favorites rather than 3-point favorites tonight against... I say tonight because that's a little thing in the biz.
Little podcast trick. We're not recording it on Thursday, but when you're listening to it, it'll be Thursday. You guys ever heard anyone do that before?
It's
We might be the
Wednesday.
first.
It's Wednesday afternoon right now. We're recording this. Washington's 3.5-point favorites Thursday night against the Giants. The total's 41. I don't care if it's 3, 3.5, 300.
I don't care if it's 50.
I'm taking Washington.
Give me the artist formerly known as the Skins. Give me the FT.
I'll take the football team. I'll tell you where I'm not going to go with my money is to the window with Daniel Jones,
Daniel
folks.
Dimes. More
Dude.
Daniel Crimes. Because every time I have to watch that dude play football, he should be put in jail.
And put me in jail with him if I'm going to bet on those guys. Joe Judge, check your local bookmaker. First coach fired, maybe?
He's on the short list. He's on the short list for sure.
Those guys that don't have a pedigree in the coaching game, those have a big name, they could pull the plug fast on Joe Judge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you want to give the guy a chance to get a program started there in New York, but I mean, if they suck, they could pull the plug on coach, probably quarterback after the year. I think
we're going to rebuild again.
We'll
tried
see.
It. Didn't work.
We'll
Let's
see.
do it again.
It could get ugly. I think Washington, although Heineke's coming in for Ryan Fitzpatrick, for me, sneaky, don't really care. Not that big of a drop-off.
Don't think Fitzpatrick and Heineke's that big of a difference.
Don't really care. Defense is going to
Pretty
eat him alive.
average, slightly erratic quarterbacks.
Similar team to Denver.
Mm-hmm. Washington's very similar roster build.
Who just kicked the shit out of them last week.
Okay quarterback, good defense.
A team
Decent enough weapons on offense.
A team in the preseason that dealt with a lot of injuries now on a short week. Don't love that for the Giants either. Washington, 3.5, whatever it's at. I'll take that. We'll move to Sunday. Another line movement. The LA Rams were 3.5, have moved to 4-point favorites on the road in Indy. Total is 47.5. How are we feeling about the Rams? How are we feeling about the money moving the line further in the Rams' favor?
Yeah, I wonder if that's, Joey Public, the dumbasses that lost to the book this week, or if it's smart people like us that are betting on the Rams. I don't know.
I hope it's smart people because I'm on the Rams.
It's a road game is one thing that sort of bothers me. I think it should be higher, which tells me there's something here that I don't know. The Rams don't feel as good as they should in this spot to me, betting them -4.
So
I don't know. Indy did get kind of killed last week.
In these week 2 games, we have one sample for each team, and some of the winners will play other winners in week 1, but we're gonna have a lot of 1-0 against 0-1, a lot of bounce back spots, and a lot of overreaction to only one game in the season. And for others, there's some other games where I think it's a better spot to take advantage of that. I just think the Rams are significantly better coached. I do like Frank Reich, better quarterback by a mile. I was pleasantly surprised with the offensive line of the Rams Sunday night, and I think they're better in every way, and I think they will.
I think all your
win
points
the football
are valid. For that reason, I'm also going to be on the Rams, but I don't love it as much as I would think I would love it. I don't know. Something feels up there. Doesn't seem like enough points. Seems like the Rams are a much better team, but Indy's not they're not a pushover team. They're at home. They've got all pros over on that side too, but I'm going to be with you. I'm going Rams -4. Lock it in.
Just another quick tidbit on the game. Check the injury report before firing down any money. I think maybe Darius Leonard might have missed practice today, Wednesday. Maybe it's just a normal
little maintenance situation.
Limited participation practice or maintenance day for a guy they just signed to a huge contract. But he's their best player on defense. That would hurt. He is a linebacker, but that could hurt. We'll move to Chicago. Cincinnati is coming to town. Chicago is a 2.5-point favorite. The total is 44.5. Cincinnati off a emotional field goal at the buzzer. The Vikings sent it to overtime, and then the Bengals won it with a field goal in overtime. I believe. And the Bears got their ass kicked by the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Total is 44.5. How are we feeling about Bengals, Bears? If I remember, you had a strong take about this game.
I'm feeling bad about the Bears. I'm feeling big bad. I was, thought they had an outside chance to make the playoffs. I think that chance is gone. I think this defense is a little bit washed up. I don't think they're the same unit that they used to be. I liked what I saw from Cincinnati a lot. They obviously have the advantage offensively. I don't think the defensive gap is as big as it probably you would think going into this game. I mean, the Bears have that sort of brand name value on their defense. Sort of a monsters of the midway. They're not so monstrous. I don't think. I feel strongly on Cincinnati. I also like Cincinnati to just win the game outright. I think Cincinnati's going to come into Soldier Field, and he's going to inch us closer to the Justin Fields era in Chicago, maybe inch us out the door on the Matt Nagy era in Chicago.
I was about to ask, what's the what week are we seeing Fields full time? He came in on Sunday night for 2 plays. One was very odd on the first drive, like a 7 or 8 yard out route, and then
he just threw it.
It and jogged off. It was really odd to bring him in for that play, and then scored on like a little read option designed run scored in the red zone. I mean, it's just so clear. Nagy knows.
He's so much better. It's crazy. I don't understand why they're doing the charade. I think I think the thing that, NFL talking heads on TV will tell you that a guy needs to sit a year is total bullshit. I don't see the value in it. He's played against NFL competition. I understand it's a new game, but you can watch as much film as you want. He can watch film and also play in the games. I don't buy into that. Certain quarterbacks maybe a little bit that are pretty raw. Justin Fields is not a raw prospect. Justin Fields is an incredibly polished quarterback prospect with NFL tools out the wazoo and an NFL
pedigree since
mind.
high school, been the number one player.
He's been that guy. He's going to continue to be that guy. But to your question, what week I think we see him, they played Detroit week 4, right? That seems
Makes
like
sense.
a good spot, assuming Dalton doesn't maybe have a little bit of a bounce. But I mean, yeah, Andy Dalton didn't play poorly, I guess, but he's just so he limits your offense completely.
I saw a stat that Dalton didn't throw the ball in the air more than like 12 yards on Sunday night.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 throw, and he didn't complete one over like 11 or 12, I think.
I mean, it does. The Rams do kind of play like that, keep everything in front type of style. Anyway, back to the. I think week 4 makes a lot of sense. Nice game.
We'll see. Yeah,
where you can hopefully go spread the wings and light it up and get the team rally behind him. As far as Cincinnati at Chicago this weekend, I'm gonna go with the Bears. I think their defensive struggles were a product of miscommunication and coverage breakdown that is hopefully correctable, something that you can fix in film, fix in prep for this game. The Bengals do have a dynamic wide receiver group similar to the Rams, but hopefully that the preparation and communication can be better for the Bears in week 2 to prevent some of those huge plays. I know Van Jefferson, Kupp got over the top both times for their scores. I'll take the Bears minus 2.5 here. They should get Eddie Goldman back in the middle. The Bengals fed Mixon pretty heavy in week 1. Hopefully he can stop the run, get some long down and distance, and take advantage of it for the Bears. Don't love it just because Andy Dalton's under center. It's clearly the second best quarterback in the game. Don't love it, but I will take Chicago minus 2.5. Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo off a loss at home in the opener as a 6.5 point favorite to the Steelers. They travel to Miami in division, laying 3.5 points. The total is 48 in this game. I could understand if the Dolphins, I mean, if you really think about it, is there a difference between winning 17-16 and losing 18 or 19-17? And like if New England would have kicked the field goal, like what is this number if New England kicks that field goal late? Are they either the Bills laying 7 just because there's a 0-1 next to the Dolphins name? I don't know. That perception is way different if Damian Harris doesn't fumble late in that game.
Personally, I think this number's about right. I think Miami is too well coached and has too good of a defense to really get blown out. So regardless of Buffalo's offense, which looked bad against one of the 5 best defenses in the league in Pittsburgh, I think this is about right. I foresee this being a pretty close game. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo's offense, again, can't really get jump-started here. Miami's just got a lot of dudes on defense, and I think Flores has got them coached up pretty well. Also, being in Miami, first home game for the Dolphins this year, I think the line's about right. Shocker, Vegas kind of just nailed it. I don't really know what I lean. I guess, I don't love betting road favorites. It's not usually super profitable to do that, but I'm going to do it here. I don't feel great about it. We're going to take Buffalo minus 3.5. Or are we? I don't know. You give me your spiel, and then I'll decide.
I was heavy on Buffalo preseason. I think they could still win this game, but I think Miami is the right side here. I think it's going to be strength on strength when the Bills are on offense and the Dolphins are on defense. The Bills ran 4 wide a ton, had a bunch of receivers on the field. The defensive backfield is where the Dolphins have their strength. I think that they can hang with them well enough to stay within this number. I think it will probably come down to how Tua plays, which is going to be the case a lot this year. I think they, like you said, they're well coached. It's going to be tough to blow this team out. I think they're going to be right in the game, home opener. With it, what's your take on the past year? Obviously, due to COVID, there hasn't been any home field or fans in the stadium for home field. I think it's playing a pretty big factor early in the year. We saw just most recently the Vikings win as dogs at home against the Ravens. I like
Raiders.
Yeah,
You said Vikings.
I did say the Vikings. The Raiders win at home against the Ravens on Monday Night Football. I think the home field will play a factor here. I'll take plus 3.5 in a game of two teams that I think are pretty evenly matched. Two good coaching staffs. Buffalo has the quarterback advantage, but two pretty good quarterbacks. Good rosters.
I sort of think home field advantage in the NFL is kind of bullshit. I don't think it matters that much. We saw a lot of games this week. Atlanta got blown out at home. New Orleans blew Green Bay out at a neutral site.
Yeah, that was neutral, yep.
Giants got blown out at home.
I think certain teams.
What other games were big spreads? Colts got beat bad at home. Tennessee got beat bad at home.
Yeah, I think there's a so this game specifically, teams going to Miami early in the year, the Heat, we saw it take a toll on the defenses in the Thursday night game in Tampa. I think a team that's been used to it, having camp there all summer. To be fair, don't know where Miami has camp, but a team that's used to it, their home field obviously in Miami. Buffalo coming south. I think early in the year that's a factor. Defense could be a little tired. I think certain teams, especially I mentioned the Monday Nighter, the home opener of the stadium, not just the season for the Raiders. There's certain spots. I think this is a spot to where it could play a bit of a factor.
It's a case-by-case thing for sure. Yeah, like you said, I think the home field more comes down to the weather and how teams like to play rather than, like in college football, loud crowds. All the crowds are relatively as loud as the others. Like Kansas City, Seattle's a little bit different, I guess, but for the most part. And on top of that, these guys are NFL players. They're pros. They can handle it. But yeah, I'm going to go with Miami.
You're switching.
Yep. The hook scares me. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'll take the Fins.
All right. San Francisco, a 3.5 point favorite on the road going to Philly. The total is 49.5. San Francisco, depending on when you got the number, was backdoored by the Lions in Detroit in week 1. They end up winning by 8 points, I believe. Philly kicked the shit out of Atlanta on the road. Justin Fields looked pretty good. The Falcons look very bad. I don't really know what to make of that Philly team coming off that huge win over Atlanta.
Philly looked really good in the opening week. I've been on record saying that I think Philly is going to be bad this year. I have a bad feeling that it's going to be a dragon that I'm going to chase the entire year, and I'm going to bet against them the entire season, and they're probably going to prove me wrong. They looked good, not great. Atlanta looked incredibly poor. But in a game, so the line in this is 3.5 still, right?
3.5 hasn't moved.
3.5 in favor of the San Francisco 49ers. Philly bullied Atlanta. Atlanta is, a soft team, not a team that's going to beat you in a bout of strength. They're not a physical football team. They're a finesse football team. San Francisco is very much the opposite. They're also, a powerful interior build from the inside out sort of squad. They like to run the ball. They like to load the box and sort of muck the game up. I don't think Philly is going to be able to impose their will on San Francisco. I think San Francisco does what Philly does, but they just do it better with better guys. Again, much like the Bills game, I don't love the 3.5 as a road team, but out of principle, I'm going to take the Niners. I think they're just way more talented. I think Philly, I think that was a bit of a fluky, fraudulent week 1 result. I'm going to take the Niners here.
I think we could be – so when we first recorded this, we recorded about half an hour of it, I was on Philly. I've switched. I'm on San Francisco.
Come to the winning side.
The Philly bullied Atlanta, as you said. Atlanta is a candy-ass team that could be taken advantage of by Philly's offensive and defensive lines. I think you said it perfectly that they do what Philly does. They just do it better. However, I am concerned about the secondary for the 49ers. Jason Verrett tore his ACL. He is out. For sure concerning. I am going to go with the 49ers, though. I think we're getting a little bit of a favor done for us here on this line. There's a bit of a bad taste in the mouth of 49ers bettors. I think they got backdoored. They kind of took their foot off the gas after killing Detroit for 3 quarters. Philly, this is the top of their market all year. They just won by 40 in Atlanta. I think 2 teams that are going to be at opposite ends of the standings come the end of the year. I think the 49ers are just way better. And while I don't love a road favorite, I will take the 49ers here minus 3.5 as well. The
next game, pick on 3. 3, 2, 1, Cleveland. Easy.
Browns.
Don't care. Again, much like the Washington number, kind of different, but this game could be minus 50. I'd bet the Browns. Whatever the number is, I'm taking the Browns. If Houston, say, loses a 1-score game last week, this line is over 14 for sure. It's for sure over 2 touchdowns.
I hate taking or laying this many points in the NFL. It's, for the most part, there's a stat I'm sure. I think that it is a losing proposition to lay this many points in the NFL. But much like the last game, this is very likely the high end of the market for the Houston Texans for the entire year. They look great against the Jaguars, and I think things are going to go very south, very Jacksonville-esque of last year. If you'll remember, they won the first game last year and then proceeded to lose 15 straight.
You and I both said last week that we thought Houston might get their only win of the season last week, and I think that is probably going to hold true. Don't get it twisted, folks. This team fucking stinks. They reek out loud. They don't have good players on their team. Cleveland, you could argue, has the best roster in the entire NFL, top to bottom. They are going to go into the dog pound and get destroyed, demolished, crushed, smashed.
Cleveland off a blown loss, too. I'm sure they're pissed off.
They're going to be pissed.
In a get-right spot. Coming back, I just don't see how they don't.
Browns by 1 million.
Plow it down their throat on the ground. It has gone to 12.5, by the way, just for purposes of the show. 12.5. It was 12 last time. It's 12.5 now. Don't care what the number is.
12.5. Also, non-essential number.
No. Both on Cleveland. New England minus 5.5 at the New York Jets. 42.5 is the total. The Patriots off a home loss, to the Miami Dolphins. The Jets backdoored, depending on when you got the number, backdoored the Carolina Panthers, so they're 1-0 against the spread. I think I really like the Patriots here. I think Bill Belichick off a loss against a rookie quarterback and rookie coach. I know it is on the road, but I think I like the Patriots here. And I could just stop there. Bill Belichick minus 5.5 against a rookie quarterback and head coach. I'll take it. Anything under a touchdown, I think I'm going to take.
I hate how many road favorites I'm betting that are over field goal favorites.
Fish?
I hate it so much. But that's why I love it. Because I think that they think what I think, what they think, what I think that they think that I'm going to think. New England minus 5.5. Everything you said. Zach Wilson looked fine.
Looked bad early. Don't get me wrong. Looked bad early. Came on a bit late. They were down 16-0, and he threw a couple touchdowns and ended up backdooring that spread. But don't get me wrong. Looked quite bad late. They were scoreless at halftime, I believe.
Mm-hmm. New England's defense looked really good in week 1. Belichick is notoriously hell for rookie quarterbacks. So I think I'm going to lean New England here. It is 5.5, which is a little bit too much for a team whose roster is not elite. The Jets is super unelite, though. Man, I don't feel good about this at all. I mean, New England has a rookie quarterback, too. People forget that.
True. He was taking 13 picks after him. He's got to be worse.
Yeah, give me New England. I don't feel good about it at all, but give me New England.
Again, I'm not going to sleep Sunday night with Zach Wilson plus 5.5. And
not against Bill Belichick.
If I lose with Bill Belichick off a loss minus 5.5, I'll sleep. I'll sleep tight. But if
Lockstep with you there.
I just there's no other pick for me. I again hate the road favorite, but in this spot, I'll go with the Patriots. The New Orleans Saints, off an absolute drubbing of the Green Bay Packers, go to Carolina, laying 4 points on the road. The total's 44.5. Laying 3.5. It's going towards Carolina. I love it even more. Carolina on the field. They're winning this game.
New Orleans is going to win. They're going to win by a touchdown. We knew going in that the roster was good. They had questions at quarterback. Jameis emphatically answered those questions last week. He can see clearly now. The rain is gone. He got LASIK eye surgery. He's back. Jameis for MVP. Let's get it going.
Let's rein that in. We're gonna rein that in this week in Carolina.
No, we're not.
We are. If
Saints by a million.
If Chandler Jones didn't have 5 sacks last week, I will throw the hat in the ring for Brian Burns, who was incredible against the Jets. Tons of pressures. He looked great. I love the young players they have on defense. Huge overreaction to the ass whipping of the Packers on the road. Lines moving towards Carolina. Carolina on the field. But for the show, I just need them to lose by a field goal.
Carolina's trying to build a roster that resembles the Saints heavily to me. This is a bit of a Padawan Jedi Master situation. I think New Orleans says, hey, watch yourself. It'll be your time about a year or two from now. This is our time. This is our window. We're going to lay the smackdown on little brother here, I think. NOLA. Pretty fucked up that you're betting against all the victims of Hurricane Ida and you don't care about their well-being at all, but that's not my... That's not... It's whatever.
Not sure I said that.
Immoral.
I will agree to disagree, Agree to disagree. All right. Las Vegas plus 5 at Pittsburgh. 47 is the total. I think I really like Pittsburgh here. It's moved to 5.5. Pittsburgh's moved to 5.5. Really like Pittsburgh here. Las Vegas just played 5 quarters on Monday night, a day less prep. Traveling east to Pittsburgh, who played very well. Defense looked great. 47.5. Kind of like the under there, like the way Las Vegas's defense looked in stretches. Good pressure on Lamar on Monday night, but I'll take Pittsburgh minus 5.5.
I was incredibly impressed by Vegas's defense Monday night when they played. The short week is troublesome, but I think I like them in this spot. I don't love them to win the game, but to me, Vegas is a good team, and they're getting treated like they're not a good team with this line. I think 5.5 is just too many points for me not to bet them. I think Pittsburgh wins the game. I think Pittsburgh is slightly better, but I don't think they're 5.5 points better. I think Ben is going to have some issues with that Vegas pass rush. I think he's going to get a lot of pressure. I think he's going to get a lot of bodies in his face. He's going to get hit more than he would like. Give me the Raiders.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't love it. I think they get Najee Harris going a little bit and attack that pass rush with the running game. in this spot. But yeah, don't love it. Not much to say, honestly, on that game. I'll just take the team that's not on a short week going east after Monday Night Football. Denver -6 on the road at Jacksonville. Total is 45. Boy, if you're that sad soul that laid 2.5 on the road with that Jacksonville roster.
We told you. We tried to tell you. You should have listened to us. We tried to tell you what was going to happen, and boy, did it happen exactly like we said it would.
Boy, do they stink.
Trevor Lawrence ain't that good. Still a 1-15 roster. He ain't 7 wins good.
An excellent generational quarterback prospect, but just a bottom of the barrel roster that stinks.
They don't have any good players on their team. They've got probably 2 or 3 good players on their entire team. They've got a fake coach who doesn't want to be there, who's probably going to dip in about 2 or 3 seasons,
or
if that.
2 or 3 weeks when he goes to USC.
Yeah.
His job that's open here.
Hey, he said today he doesn't want that job, dude.
Quote, no chance.
No chance, dude. No place in the world that I love as much as Jacksonville, Florida. Especially Los Angeles, California. I would much rather live here.
What a dump.
What a dump. L.A., glitz and glamour. I'm a gritty, crystal meth, bath salts type of guy to my soul. I love Jacksonville.
Love a good storm. Love a good rain. Love a nice, just piss and rain.
Yeah. I sweat every second of my day. It is so goddamn muggy. Boy, do I love it.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's still raining or if I'm covered in my own sweat.
Maybe Tim Tebow will be the USC coach, and then Urban will come back and be like the OC or something.
Whoa.
Let's get that going.
Let's get that going. Take machine. Fire
Tim
it up.
Tebow for USC head coach.
Who says no?
Click.
Anyways, Jacksonville reeks. Denver, I'm going against most of my logic this week of highs and lows. Jacksonville off a huge low. Denver off a huge high. I don't care. If this is under a touchdown, I'm taking Denver. They have a way, way better roster. Their defense, I think, will eat that team alive. Anything under a touchdown, I will be on Denver. And for the show, it's 6, and I will take Denver -6.
Agreed. Jacksonville stinks. Denver's underrated. What did we say earlier, folks? We had some technical difficulties with the camera. We got it back. We got it figured out.
We said we're pros is what we said. We're putting out pro product here.
Mm-hmm. We're doing this for you. We're digging, we're gritting, we're grinding. We're doing it for you. Last game we talked about was Jacksonville. Pretty self-explanatory. We think they fucking stink. Go on to the next game.
Minnesota is +5, traveling to Arizona. The total is 51. Arizona off a huge high. They kicked the shit out of Tennessee on the road last week. Minnesota lost in overtime to Cincinnati. I do not have a strong take in this game. I do know, however, that I hate Kirk Cousins.
Strong take for me is that Kirk Cousins fucking sucks, and I'm never going to bet on him. I don't really care what's going on in the game. I don't care who's...
As Minnesota goes against the spread this season, so I go against the spread this season. Not betting them. Kirk Cousins.
As long as 8's going to be taking the snaps, I will be picking against the old mini Vikes.
He can do one. I don't have a lot to say. I mean,
Minnesota looked fine last week. Arizona looked really strong, obviously. I think there's probably some value on Minnesota here. I think Arizona's getting favored by a little bit too much, but I do not care. I'm going to take Arizona out of principle.
Yeah, it's don't get me wrong. It's a no bet. Like, I'm not going to be laying real life American dollars on the game. But for hashtag purposes of the show, I'll take Arizona -4.5. Clear the better quarterback. Hate Kirk Cousins. We're on the Cardinals. Moving to Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Totals 52. Atlanta looked about as bad as you could look. Tampa looked fine. They ended up pulling out a win against Dallas. The lines moved from 12 to 12.5. Atlanta is getting on the road. Plug the nose.
I'm going to plug the nose, and I'm going to take the Falcons. I think this roster is too good to be 12.5-point underdogs. I could be proven wrong. I think they just have too many good to high-level NFL players.
You wish.
Tampa Bay is obviously much better.
Obviously, clearly.
They are very similar to Philly, which scares me.
Terrified of that front. Terrified that the Tampa front is going to do the exact same thing that the Philly front did to Atlanta, and Matt Ryan leaves the game in a casket.
Yeah, to the point that we've talked about that the Thursday night teams don't get the added time to game plan.
Haven't made that point yet, technically.
Well, in another universe, when we were talking to
I'll
nobody,
make the point again.
when the video wasn't recording, we said that these teams in week 1 that play on Thursday typically have an extra few days to prepare, but there's no footage really. They have the same amount of time.
The only thing that I'll say, they do. It is also a rookie head coach in this game as well, so different scheme, different game plans. I was referring to, in another universe, the Dallas Chargers game, which I'll bring up again. But yeah, exactly. They don't have the footage to take advantage of for the extra 3 days that they normally would.
Going to drop some weird shit, maybe get them a broken play or two. 12.5 is just too many for me. Obviously hate it. Tampa Bay is probably going to beat the shit out of them.
Too many points.
Too many points.
Too many points in the NFL in division. I'm taking the Falcons too. Wouldn't you know it? Look what happened.
It got messed up again, guys.
Listen.
We're doing this for you. We're trying so
We're new.
hard.
We're new at this. Little first month hazy here. We just want to give a challenge to the production team. We just want to send them fragments of shit.
Kill me.
Just fragments of random shit and see what works.
Oh, and this guy's getting calls.
Shut up, Dad. Shut up.
Oh my God, this is going poorly.
Dallas is going to play a football game against the Chargers in LA or wherever the fuck they play on Sunday, and the Chargers are 3-point favorites. The total is 55. I like the Chargers in this game. 2 good quarterbacks. We know for sure one coach stinks, Mike McCarthy, idiot. Staley, 1-0. 1-0. I like the Chargers defensive playmakers. Hopefully they can make a play to cover this spread. I think it is going to be up and down, a lot of offense. The game I'll be watching. Let's just say that.
It's going to be the game of the week. Put a pin in it. It's going to be awesome. I don't know. This is a bit of a coin flip game. I'll take the home team here. I think the Chargers have a slightly better roster, although the rosters are pretty dead even for these two eyes. Yeah, give me the Chargers here. I like the Chargers.
Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Kenneth Murray, somebody make a play for me. Cover this number. I think it's going to be up and down. I think the Chargers lay a big number on Dallas, though, on that defense. I think they're going to throw it around. Justin Herbert tossing it around the yard. Inject all of the Twitter clips of him just ripping balls from the
big arm,
the far hash to the sideline. Just inject it. Just inject it all week to me. I will take the Chargers -3.
Go Chargers.
Tennessee +5.5, up from 5. I'm traveling to Seattle. Total is 53.5. One of the few places in the NFL that you could say the home field probably does matter a little bit.
A little bit.
Seattle looked great on the road last week. This is their home opener. Tennessee did not look great. They laid an egg at home. I think I'm on the side of the Tennessee bounce back here. I think 2 similar rosters, and I think it's too many points. 5.5. I'll take the bounce back spot. I think Tennessee tries to establish Derrick Henry early. I think the recipe that they tried last week of getting their ass kicked and having to abandon the run, not great. Their identity is in the run. I saw some stat where they were way down in play action in week 1, and I think they need to get back to establishing the #establish the run and work off play action and get Brown and Julio involved. I'll take the bounce back for Tennessee.
I agree. It scares me because Seattle's sort of a similar makeup, a similar type of team to Arizona. They do not have the pass rush that Arizona has, which makes me believe that Tennessee is going to be able to sort of run a lot of their stuff a lot more effectively with a little bit less pressure. That defense, I just question if they can stop Russ, though, because if they get down, they're not a team that really is built to play from behind. You would think with those receivers they are, and we just said I said Ryan Tannehill's a top 10 quarterback. Maybe he's not.
That's the thing. That's where Chandler Jones pinned the ears back and could eat. I don't know if they have the
Seattle,
if they did get down 10 or 14 points, if Seattle could come after Tannehill. I think he'd have a little bit more time to climb him back into that game and maybe backdoor this number. Yeah, they were in a bad spot against the Cardinals when they were down. They were just a sitting duck back there.
I like the value here. Give me Tennessee. On to the next game.
Probably just we're doing the market values. Probably a low point, one of the low points for Tennessee of the year. Laid a huge egg in week 1. Don't overreact. I'll take Tennessee plus 5.5. Kansas City is the Sunday night game. Shocker. Kansas City's going to play a lot of primetime games. They are 3.5-point favorites on the road going to Baltimore for their home opener. The total is 55. Baltimore off a loss. Lamar with a bit of butterfings on Monday night, fumbled away the game. Chiefs, just typical Chief, turned it on, won the game, didn't cover. I don't know. Kansas City owns Baltimore, though. It seems like whenever they in these big spots, when it's prime time, big spot, time to show up and play a big game against another seemingly great team, they show up. I just hate the road favorite of 3.5. I think I would lean Kansas City here, though. Another team, Baltimore. We talked about it with Las Vegas that played on Monday night, played 5 quarters on Monday night. Short week, long game. I will take the Chiefs minus 3.5. Don't love it, though.
The Baltimore Ravens have never beaten the Chiefs with Lamar Jackson as the quarterback since 2018.
Owns them.
Kansas City has beat them all 3 times.
There was
2 of them were one-score games. The other last season, they beat them by 2 touchdowns.
They kicked the shit out of them.
Yeah,
just
on Monday
just
night.
Boat raced them right away. There's so much hype of the game. This is the 2 titans of the league, and Kansas City laid it on the table. They came out and just boat raced them. I think Baltimore climbed back in it a little bit later in the game. 14. Yeah, they own them. They own Lamar.
They certainly do. Is there any chance this is a bounce back spot for Baltimore at all?
Sure, it is. We talked about being able to game plan for Lamar, and I think that Kansas City has the recipe to game plan for Lamar. The running game struggled with all their injuries. They fumbled multiple times. Some mesh point issues on some zone read stuff. I just don't think they have the weapons, the boundary players, and I don't think I'm confident enough in Lamar on throwing to the outside for him to beat Kansas City. I just think they're better in many ways, and they own them. Bottom line, I think 3.5. I hate the number. Being that big of a road favorite in Baltimore's home opener on Sunday night feels bad, but Kansas City minus 3.5. I'm going with them.
Give me the Ravens. I don't like the hook. I think they lose by 3.
I can very well see it. I think it's a close game too. Yeah, I think it is a close game.
Sunday
I think Kansas City, we're probably going to be singing it all year. Last year had a propensity to win the game and not cover the number.
Kansas City's not good against the spread.
Their
number is always too high. Vegas doesn't lose on that number because people want to bet the Chiefs. Give me the Ravens here. I like the value. I like the half point.
Obviously, everyone wants to bet on the Chiefs. Obviously, they're inflated. I get it, but I'll take Andy Reid. I'll take the extra day, and I'll take the Chiefs minus 3.5. The Green Bay Packers in a huge get-right spot host the Lions. They're minus 11 at home. The total is 48.5 after getting their ass kicked against the Saints in Week 1. Detroit, valiant effort, I suppose.
They gave it their all.
They punched back. They were down big. They punched back. Came up short. Did cover the number against San Francisco last week. How are we feeling on Detroit, Green Bay? Conventional wisdom says, oh, Green Bay, it's get right. We're just going to absolutely bury them.
Maybe they suck.
I don't think they suck. I don't think they suck. I like the fight that Detroit showed. And again, another similar to Atlanta and Tampa division game.
Prime time.
It is in prime time. I like the fight that Detroit showed. That was my initial thought, was Green Bay, just get right, kick the shit out of them, we're good. Aaron Rodgers, relax. I don't know. I'm kind of wavering. I might hold my nose again and take the division matchup, take all the points. It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points to lay in prime time. Detroit, not a very good team. Are we disrespecting Jared Goff a little bit too much? Does he lift this team's floor a little bit more than we ever anticipated?
I would never. He's always been my guy. Always been my guy. Rams fan. Took us to the Super Bowl. He is a fine quarterback. He's not a ceiling raiser. He's a fine quarterback. He can hit open receivers. He can move a team up and down the field. Is he great? No, he's not. But a solid floor on that team. He got painted into, like, especially I think a lot of people year one with Jeff Fisher when he looked like a complete idiot. It stuck around and a lot of people thought he was just a puppet for McVay in that offense. A little bit maybe, but he's
number one overall pick.
He's still making the throws. He's still high pedigree, number one pick. Still, he's the guy making the throws. He can hit open receivers. I think I'm talking myself into Detroit, and I hate it. Go ahead.
Give me the Pack. I think I'm not going to overthink this one.
Here's what you have to consider. We laid a huge number with Cleveland just because Houston is just an awful, awful roster that we think is going to be picking in the top 3 in the draft. Do we think that about Detroit? Preseason, we're thinking this could be one of the worst teams in the league. Is that how we feel? Are we laying anything here?
I still think they're bad. You just look at that roster up and down. I mean, maybe some guys are going to take some big leaps.
Don't love Jeff Okudah's out for the year.
Yeah, their top corner, torn Achilles.
Number 3 overall pick 2 years ago.
Year.
A player you'd hope would ascend in his second year and lead the secondary. God, am I talking myself back out of Detroit?
Green Bay.
Clearly, it's a no bet for me. I don't love it. I think Green Bay. I think they get right. I'm taking Green Bay -11. Hate it, but I'm taking Green Bay -11.
Me too. That's all the games until week 3.
That's all the games. We super locking. We talking super
What's
locks.
your lock of the week?
Well,
what were our locks
easy.
of the week last week?
Locks. I lost mine. I went with Indy at home against Seattle. Wrong.
Dunce.
Wrong. What did you go with? You
I
ended
went
up
with the
on
Broncos.
Denver. Yeah. And
Easy money.
Easy money. Let me pull it up here. We both went 9-7. And our survivor picks both came through. I was on the Rams Sunday night, and you were on San Francisco. I think just slam dunk, survive in advance. I'll go with the Browns for this week's survivor.
Same.
You going with the Browns too?
Also going with the Browns.
As far as super lock, I haven't put a lot of thought in. Let me browse the. To be honest, Washington -3.5 on Thursday kind of looks spicy. Don't hate that. I'm sticking with my. I was about to fire Carolina. I don't want to get too. Don't want to get too
lock
out over my skis here.
They didn't cover against the Jets last week.
That was the right side. The Panthers were the right side. Don't get it twisted. In consideration for me, I really like the Chargers. Sunday afternoon -3. I like that. Let's see. I like that number. And the other one, I think, might be Washington on Thursday, which you have any leans on a lock?
Kind of hit you with something crazy?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Denver again. -6 against the Jags.
Huge Vic Fangio guy. Huge.
I'm not. I'm
Teddy
I'm
Two Gloves. Teddy covers.
I'm a huge stinky Jacksonville.
We left that out.
Stinky
He
Giants.
is an absurd cover percentage on the road as a whatever it is, road favorite or just on the road in general. Like,
give me Denver again. Lock it in.
Unfathomable. Like 20-something and 7. Like 20 and 4. It's wild. He's an excellent against the spread quarterback. I don't hate that. Don't hate that at all. I am going to take. I'll take the Chargers -3. I think they're an excellent team, excellent quarterback, and I'll take the Chargers -3. Anything else before we get out of here?
For the love of God, can we get this podcast to the finish line? For fuck's sake.
We're there.
I hope you're happy. I hope you like it.
Break the tape. We
Please
made
watch it. Please watch it. Please share it.
For the guy in the production truck clipping all this together, please watch it.
Please like it.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Tell a friend.
Leave a comment.
You won't.
Please do it. If you're listening right now, listen to my voice. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, rate 5 stars on Apple. Do whatever you do on Spotify. I don't even know. Please. All right. That's it.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.